Exactly why we need to review. Okay, now some of you might be looking at this right now and say, I don't even remember doing this, right? Others of you are like, okay, I kind of remember doing this. I have it on number 1. Is that good enough to start with? By the way, answers are on the back. And tonight, answers are going to be on the back as well, too. Okay? So, the first thing we did, this was that one theorem that had 2 corollaries. If you need to write this somewhere on your paper, right, do so. But remember, it also should be in your book of truth. You're going to have a right triangle that looks like this. You're going to have an altitude that comes down from the right angle down to the hypotenuse. We get 3 sayings out of this construction. All right, I don't forget how it's labeled in your book, but I think it's something like A, H, B. I'm probably screwing this up. Is it D, something like that? And then the whole thing is C. Okay, I believe that's pretty close. Doesn't really matter. We can label anything we want. All right, we get 3, and I'll write it in red. We get 3 things from the corollary. Karis was doing this the other day, and she had it memorized. Let's see if she still has it memorized, or if you immediately forgot it, which most people will. We're going to be able to say something about A. This doesn't even work. Oh, cool. We're going to be able to say something about A, H, and B. Who's got one of them? What do you got, Karis?
Is it like the CN equal?
You got it. Except we're going to use these letters, right? Let's start with A. A is equal to the square root of 2 things multiplied together. What 2 things?
D and E.
No. But D is correct. D times the whole thing, C.
All right.
Okay. A is equal to the square root of D times the whole darn thing.
I have 3 formulas.
Okay. H, for height, is equal to the square root of, now say it,
D times E.
D times E.
That's
Okay. And lastly, B is kind of like the opposite of A. Go ahead, Karis. E times C. There's all the sayings right there. It's in your book of truth. I saw all of you, including Danny, write it down. Right? You can do these. The only issue is, what do they do with the picture? Twist it, turn it, and they call the sides different things. They call this X, but X matches up with
A.
You see that? All right. Let's do it. X corresponds with A, so I'm going to use this sucker right here. See what I'm doing? So X would be equal to the square root of, well, it says D. D is this piece. Where's that on that? Times C is the whole thing, and the whole thing is, what's the square root of 9? What's the square root of 25? So what's the answer?
3 times 15.
Check the back. Good. There's number 1. The only way we make this more complicated is we twist it, turn it, change the numbers around. Yeah. Sure. Go get it. All right. That's questions 1 all the way through 8.
Where are they?
Bottom. In the box. Open it. Bottom in a box. No. Yes. All right. Someone else pick one. 1 through 8.
7.
I just know like the number 7.
There's number 7. Where's the variable? Down. Oh, no, we got to do some serious twisting and turning. X would match what on this picture? Can everybody see E? So I'm doing that, but wait a minute. Well, this starts off with A, H, and B. So this one's a little bit more complicated. So X is this part, which is E. Which of these formulas has an E in it? Well, there's two of them, H and B. Okay? Well, I know what H is. H is 12. Do I know what B is? B is over on this side. Do I know what B is? So guess which formula I want to use? The one that we know everything about. Okay? So what's B? D is 9. And what's the other thing I need? And H is equal to, oh, I'm sorry, I screwed that all up. There we go. Now I got it right. Ever see what I did? Okay. All right. What's the square root of 9? So 12 is equal to 3 root x. Yes? Well, we got to solve for x. I guess we could divide by 3 first. Let's divide by 3. What do we get? How do you get rid of square root symbol? How do you get rid of a square root symbol? Both sides. So x is equal to?
16.
Check your x. That was number 7. Yes? Okay. Any other questions about 1 through 8? All right.
5.
Number 5? All right, let's do number 5. Nummer 5. Da ist Nummer 5. Anybody had enough of Spanish to take German next year?
I heard German's pretty hard to learn.
I heard it's pretty easy to learn. It's
I never learned Spanish. I can't compare. I thought German was easy to learn because it's the words I thought were closer than Spanish. Like there were so many German words, like, oh, that's just the American word. Just with,
It's kind of like the same way for Spanish
Is
as
it?
well. Like if like certain words, if you sound it out and say it a certain way, then it'll sound like.
then it's probably the same. Okay. All right. So here's number 5. It looks like what they're asking us to find is C. Do you see that? Pun intended. Right. Which one of these has a C in it?
A and B.
So we're going to use one of those. We just got to figure out, do we know a D or do we know an E, A, or B?
You know.
What do we know? You know, this one, and that corresponds with, you got to flip that sucker around. Now, you could argue it's B, but, right, if I flipped it completely around, if I flip this all the way around, this winds up on the,
Like flip it, not turn.
That'd be answer.
Like
oh,
like yeah.
right? But you're right, if we rotated it, turns out it could be either one because it's the same pattern. Just depends on what side it is, A or B. So which one do you want to use, A or B? Okay, we'll use B. So if we do it like that, right, then we see that this lines up with B, and this says that B, which in this case is 60, is equal to the square root of E, whereas E is directly underneath of it, 36 times the whole thing, which is X. This is pretty much the same as the previous problem. Square root of 36 is 6. So we get 60 is equal to 6 root X. Divide both sides by 6. 10 equals root X. Oops. Square both sides, so X is equal to 100. All right. Say again.
Small side, the other side equals.
And then I have you ask for that, right? But you could do that, right? He's saying that this piece right here must be 64. Okay. Danny, you're going to get all of these right, correct?
Totally.
Right.
No,
Hey,
sure.
Clearly, I'm making a point here that if you pay no attention, you have no chance.
Okay.
By the way, this is the midpoint of chapter 8. We got a bunch of new stuff. The new stuff is easy and it's fun and it's when you're done with the calculator, but it's on top of all of this packet right here. You have to know how to do this. You wait till the day before the test. It's too late. You gotta be in the fight. Okay. All right. I do have 9 and 10 11, and 12, they are straight up Pythagorean theorem. Are you guys okay with the Pythagorean theorem? Yes? Okay. We're looking at 13, 14. Pick one. Notice the instructions for the Pythagorean theorem ones just say, find how long the side is, right? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. On number 13 and 14, it says leave your answers in radical form. In other words, your answers are going to have a square root in them. Possible. The previous ones, they just want you to do the Pythagorean theorem. Okay. Bailey, give me the Pythagorean theorem for this one. Give me the Pythagorean theorem for this one. Square root of 10 squared. Keep talking. Plus 5 squared. You see how that's done? That's the setup. What happens when you square a square root? So I'm left with 10 equals plus 5 squared. And we're told that equals x squared. 10 plus 25?
35.
How do we get rid of the square symbol?
Divide
Both
by
sides,
x.
not dividing. Square root of both sides, therefore x is equal to square root of both sides. Don't overthink it. Square root both sides. So if you're overthinking this, you're not realizing when I say square root both sides, I literally mean just put a square root on it. Any perfect squares in 35? That's the answer. Once again, if you work this through, you find out, okay, this isn't that bad. Now, what generally happens, there'll be a perfect square in there and they want you to pull it out type thing. Probably 14, that's what they want you to do. All right, we good on that? Okay, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We did this, I don't know, what, 2 days ago? It says, tell me if the triangle is right, acute, or obtuse. Right, obtuse, or acute. Somebody pick one in that set. 16? All right, let's do number 16. Okay, before we do that, let's write this down. If it's right, guess what must be true? A squared. Danny, you're really starting to bother me. I'm trying to teach you. Matt, you're part of the problem too, because you're getting them all wound up. If it's right, that has to be true. What happens if it's acute? What's going to happen? C, remember, I did this with my fingers. Here's a right angle. I'll make it into a right triangle. C is on the bottom here, right? If I make this angle smaller than 90, what happens to C? It shrinks, and that's why this one's going to be less than C squared. And for the obtuse, it'll be just the opposite. If you make this 90 bigger, C is getting bigger. So A squared plus B squared is going to be, I did that backwards. Sorry.
Yeah, I was left confused for a second.
Sorry. Remember I said it's confusing? There we go. Now it's correct. I caught my mistake. But Wes sensed the mistake. Good job. Okay. So guess what? The only thing you have to do and see which one you're at. Now, if you leave it this way and C is always on the right side, then this will always be true. Okay. C will also always be the longest side. Okay. So all I'm doing is plugging the numbers in. 6 squared plus 8 squared, something 10 squared. I don't know if it's equal, greater than, or less than.
How do you figure that?
What's 6 squared?
36. 64.
So therefore it is a right triangle. 36 and 64 is 100.
Oh.
what will happen is instead of this being a 10, it's either going to be bigger than 10 if it's obtuse, and if it's acute, then this is going to be smaller than 10. Okay? Pick one, Matt. That was 16.
7.
Hey, it's the same numbers except the number now is,
9, so it's cute.
and clearly that is smaller, so therefore it's acute.
That's literally all you have to
That is literally all you have to do. That's why I get so animated.
do.
Because if you stay with me and you're engaged in class, you're going to find out, okay, it's just a bunch of skills, right? Some you might think they're silly, that's fine. But if you turn yourself off and you don't pay any attention, you got no chance. No chance. Right? You're not going to pull this out of your butt come test it. Hopefully. That's too sharp to pull out that particular part of your body. It would be painful. All right. That's 15 all the way through 20 questions. And then we come to our favorite, which is what I wanted to spend the rest of the class on. 21 through 30, which are, I'm sorry, 21 through 28, which are what we just did, your homework from last night. So we're going to do them all, or at least until we get tired. We're going to do them all, or we're going to get tired and you're going to say, I've got this. You can stop. Okay? Danny, what's the first one from last night's homework on this worksheet?
On this worksheet?
Yeah.
Number 1.
Number 1 was not last night's homework.
Okay, I don't understand the question.
Number 20.
If we just got this worksheet, I was talking about it's 21. 21.
Okay, and the people that were paying attention knew that the answer was 21. Okay, we're doing 21. Okay, so let's look at 21. And then the first thing that we will do is we will draw off to the side. What kind of triangle is it?
Right.
Oh, yeah, duh. Whole chapter.
Oh,
So it's a 45, 45, 90. So off to the side here, we're going to draw a generic 45, 45, 90. What are the three sides? A root 2. Nice job. I said that my goal was for you to have it memorized so that when you get to Algebra 2 next year and pre-calculus the year after that, that you're already ahead of the game. Okay. We actually don't have to do any twisting and turning because it's faced exactly the same way. So where's the x?
It's a squared.
So we know immediately you can write these in any order you want. Some people are like, no, I don't want to do it in that order. I want to do it in another order. That's fine. I don't know. You saw x first. Let's write x. So x is equal to. Notice there's two variables now that didn't help us at all. Right? How about y?
It's 3.
Y is equal to. Well, it's equal to a. And a is equal to 3. So, well, there's half of the battle right there. Y is 3. Do you see that? This is a, so is that. Y is also equal to a, so y is 3. But wait a minute, a was equal to 3, therefore x is equal to, and you're done. You see why a was 3, Karis?
Yeah.
And what does it say x is equal to? But you just said a was 3, so x is equal to 3 root 2. Okay, it will get a little bit easier when you do more of them. All right, there's number 21. 22, I said we're going to do them all. I'm going to leave that one up there because I'm going to use it again. But this time we have what kind of triangle? We got a 30, 60, 90 triangle. This is your 30. What's opposite 30? This is your 60. What's opposite 60? No.
Oh, a square root.
A root 3. What's opposite the hypotenuse? Or is it opposite 90? 2a. This one we got to twist and turn. Not much. Got to turn it like this. Some people, I'll just say, usually what I typically do is, hey, is there a number up here? My eyeball goes right to the number. I don't know if this always works. Just seems like it will work. I go to the number. And I know that 3 is equal to, 3 matches up with what on our triangle? Now I can solve for a immediately. right? So divide both sides by, this one's gonna be ugly. This one's gonna be ugly. Cancels. We cannot have a square root in the denominator. And we're left with a equal to over. Oh, wait. You see what it
Well,
is?
that's not making sense.
That was nice.
Yeah, 'cause, like, if you just look at it, it's just like second you're talking about, you see square.
You can, right. Correct. Okay, so I just found out what a, by the way, I haven't answered any question yet, and I did all that work. Because what we're really looking for is x and y. X matches up with what over here? And you just found out that a was, you just found out that a was equal to, so x is equal to a, which is the square root of 3, times square root of 3. So it turns out that x is equal to, some people are already saying that.
Wait.
That can't be considered.
All right, I made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's see. Divide both sides by the square root of 3.
X should be 2 root 3.
Yeah.
Where are we at? Oh, hypotenuse. I looked at that. Yes, thank you. Plus 1 for Katie, who figured it out before I did. The hypotenuse is x, and x is 2a. We found out that a was root 3, so a is 2 root 3. Thank you. All right. That was easy. Well, we're just left with y. Y matches up with, and we already know a is, so y is equal to 3. So here's your answer. Here's your answer, x and y. Now, if you look at all the answers in the back, you're going to see that generally on the 30, 60, 90, you get these ugly answers, and many of them have square roots in them. All right, there's 22. Don't forget that plus 1, I will. All right, 23. What's a triangle? And it looks like it's what, twisted this way?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a number up here? Yeah, ugly number. So 3 root 6 is equal to, all right, Matt's like turning on big time now. Okay. Same drill. How do we get a by itself?
Divide both sides by 2. It gives you 3 root 3
Now we have to,
equals.
what do we have to do?
Multiply over 2.
2 times 6 is 12. This one's ugly. So we get 3 root 12 over 2. But inside root 12 is a 4. Square root of 4 is 2 times 3 is,
Which makes it, I confuse myself. And then you can just do 3.
and then you can further. So you get 3 root 3. That's what A is, right? Way over here. Yeah.
I'm done.
I just
Can I have my
divided the
homework?
square root. Did that work?
You can do that. Right?
Fancy.
You can do that. Harris said, wait, you did it the hard way. Square root of 6 divided by the square root of 2 is square root of 3. Okay. Okay. By the way, we're not done. X goes with, oh, wait, you are done. X is A and A is 3 root 3, and we're done. So is Y. X and Y are both equal to A, so it's 3 root 3. If there's an easy, medium, hard, this one is the hard one, right? It requires the most work. Okay. So we're gonna do them all. What time we get out of here? 15, I said? I said that? 9:15. Okay. What's the triangle? 45, 45, 90. If that's A, that's A. So A's done. Right? That's easy. We just got to find out. I'm sorry. If that's A, that's A. Boy, they're really trying to confuse you here because they call the hypotenuse A. But remember, the two sides opposite the 45 are, well, in our generic one, are our A's. So we already know that B is equal to 3 root 2. Remember, 45, 40, it's isosceles, so this side is the same as that. We just got to find out what the hypotenuse is. We know that the hypotenuse is equal to A root 2. Well, I already know what, okay, this is going to get confusing. I already know what A is. It's that.
3 root
But that's
2.
D.
I know. My head hurts, right?
Hurts to live.
So 3 root 2 is your quote, quote, A value. And we got to multiply that times root 2.
This is very weird.
Yeah, but once you get comfortable with the fact that the letters are immaterial, it's not too bad.
And then equals 4, and then it gets square root.
So the final answer would be 6. So you get 3 root 2, 3 root 2, 6. If this is 3 root 2, this is 3 root 2, right? But remember, this whole value is, now I'm going to confuse you here. The whole value is the A value. The problem is they call that side A. But that's supposed to be A root 2. That means this times root 2. This times root 2. Square root 2 times square root 2, square root of 4, which is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Yes? Okay.
Oh no, I'm done with the homework and starting home. I'm done with this. Starting home.
Well, it ends at the same time and just pop out.
Well, you can't start with your homework because I haven't handed it out yet.
He grabbed it.
You dirty dog. You.
I'm saying.
All right.
You should get docked 20 points.
Have you come to realize that the easy one are always the 45, 45, 90s? The harder one is the 30, 69. I'm going to skip this one because I only got like 3 minutes left. Let's do 30, 69. Here we go. We'll call this the last one. We'll call it a day. All right. Luckily, they didn't call this one A, B, and C because they've already confused this with their lettering. They call it X and Y. Okay. Look at the 30, 60, 90. I got one number up there, 6. 6 goes with 2A. Therefore, A is equal to 3. This one's easy. It says that the short leg is A, so we're already done. Y is equal to 3. That's what A is. It says the longer one is A root 3, therefore it's Merry Christmas. There's an easy one.
Merry freaking Christmas.
All right.
How comes like the level of difficulty is like dramatically out of order?
Exactly. Exactly. You would think that they would go from easy to hard, but they did hard then easy. All right. All right.
Can we do 27?
Yeah.
27. All right. Is it the ugliest of the ugly?
Probably. I don't get it.
All right. 30, 60, 90. There's one number up there. It is.
6.
And like I said, I generally tend, if they give me a number, start with that. 6 is opposite to 60, so that's the long leg. So 6 is equal to the long leg, which is A root 3. So let's solve for A. So we're going to divide both sides by root 3. It's the same pattern over and over again. So we get 6 root 3 over
3.
which reduces to
2 times
2 root 3. So remember, that's what A is. A is your Y value. So we're good to go. We got Y. So really, that also equals Y in our problem. Okay? So all we got to find is X. X is double A. So double that sucker.
4 roots.
4 root 3, and you're done. This one was actually not too bad. No, we're doubling the whole thing, not the individual pieces parts. Matt, what's 3 times 4? Okay. Double it. You don't do 2 times 3, 2 times 4. You just double 12. In other words, you can just double the 3, you can double the 4, but you don't double both. If you double both, it would be 6 times 8, which is 48. If we double the 3, then it would be 6 times 4, 24. Or we double the 8, 3 times 8, 24. So whenever you're doubling this, you can do the double. You could double that, right? All right, here's your homework that someone already grabbed because he was. No, the teacher was bad because I put it right next to him. All right.
Such a what?
Fila, is that what the guy said? Like, oh, Travis pity insult.
I know, but you guys-
Me and Dan were talking
We had the results that I thought we were gonna have.
Says the reason.
Yo, what?
Yeah. I would've thought that over my head.
Well, yeah, but then you would have said you should have asked.
Yes, you read me correctly. All right, any learners online? No. Hey, e-learners, if you have any questions, right, I provided you with the worksheet and the answers. It's done just like the other class. I would suggest that you review the classes for 8-1, 8-2, and the last one we did was 8-4. Have a good weekend. I'll see you guys. Oh, we're not going to see you guys till Tuesday. And it's supposed to, they're calling for snow, so who knows? Maybe we'll have a snow day on Tuesday. That would be sweet.